Hey guys, FlyingSoul, again live from his new house. Today I want to talk about, as you saw in the title of this video, the difference between Soviet girl and Russian girls. Before starting that, as usual, when I'm going to talk about some controversial topic, it's better to I have to make a disclaimer. So I'm talking about what I observed, what I experienced during more than 2 years that I'm living in Russia. And this is my personal opinion. Though I share this opinion with many other people here, it's not just mine, so you can take it in some way, like seriously. Though there are always exceptions, so this is important. I mean, not all the people are the same. Then, after this, let's get into the topic. So, what does it mean for me, Russian girl and Soviet girl? I'm not gonna talk about the past and the present, so the difference between the girls that were living during the Soviet Union and the girls that are living now. I'm talking about something present, something that could be useful if you want to come to Russia, and especially if you want to come to Russia to meet a girl. So, when I say Soviet girl, I mean girls that were born during USSR, before the USSR collapsed, and that they lived in that period at least was 5 or 6 years, enough to get the imprinting of Soviet mentality. While Russian girls were born after USSR collapse. So if we want to put a limit, let's say around 30 years old. So girls that are more than 30 years old, I consider them Soviet girls. Girls that are less than 30, I consider them Russian girls. Now, say this, let's get into the topic. So, the first important thing that I want you to know is that, to my experience, there is a huge difference between these two types of girls. Because usually, Soviet girls, and everything gets connected with the period of time that they live, their young ages. Because first, the Soviet girls, they had the Soviet imprinting during their young life. And then, during teenagers, like when they were still young, but no more like children, they lived during 90s. This was the worst period of Russia, during the economic collapse and a lot of wars. And, you know, this country was in really, really bad situation. And while Russian girls, they were born during that period, so they were too young to understand values, the real values in life, and they were just connected with money. And they can even maybe not remember that. So they grew up in a different situation when all the people that, Russian men that made money during that period, they could give them a lot. So Russian girls usually are really spoiled compared to Soviet girls. And they are only looking for status. They usually have everything from their father. They can live like in a nice place in the center of the city, have a car or like the last model of iPhone and whatever. So when they look for a man, they look for a man for fun or for status. And that's all. They are not inclined to have a family. They are not connected. They don't have this kind of family values. Like they don't give a high value to family values. Why Soviet girls more? Of course, it's also connected with the age, because if you are more than 30 and you are still not married, you want to settle down. But even before, when they were younger, they wanted. So the big difference is that usually a Soviet girl, even if all of them are looking for a man who gives them protection, and protection means mostly money. The type of protection that Soviet girls are looking for are more like a man who is a real man. They can take care of them and all. How can I say? They can exchange feelings with them. That they take care of them, and they give back a lot of attention to their man. So if you date Soviet girls, usually, and you get into a relationship with them, usually they treat you as a king. They really take care of you, and that's the biggest difference between Soviet girls and Russian girls. Because Russian girls, they usually just looking for money. If you can afford any kind of expenses, for them it means that you can also afford the expenses, for example, for a housewife, so someone who is going, a maid that can do everything at home, because they are not going to do anything. They want just to live very, very comfortable life. And usually they don't think about feelings that much. So they live actually I remember that during the 80s they were like material girl. I would say that Russian girls, they are really material in that way. Of course there are exceptions. That's obvious. That's obvious and it's normal. Most likely, as I said at the beginning, they are like that. So if you come to Russia to meet with a girl and to date a girl, I think you should know this. But of course you can have different type of opinions. So if for you if you have something to say about it, we can discuss it in the comments, and we will just make up better images of this type of girls that I met in my life, because I met a lot of girls here in Russia, as you can imagine, and far from my experience, that's what I noticed. Not only in a direct way, but also indirect way with some other people they were dating, for example, not just me. Of course, if you are young, there is a big difference. Maybe you just come here for fun, and it's possible that you can find fun with young girls. But fun is not connected with respect, for example. Because they do not respect you that much as Soviet girl does. So they just take any kind of relationship, more seriously than Russian girls. So that's my experience so far. You can share your experience if you had it, and we can discuss about it. Today it's all. So see you for the next video.